Welcome back, everybody. Today we are testing the 900 Global Sublime. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, subjectively, the Sublime seem to be just that for all testers. Alright, so I spilled the beans on our opinion, but let's get more into the objective information on the new 900 Global Sublime. There's a brand new core, but ultimately it's not the first time, say an hourglass shape has been used. I seem to recall, say, a vibe from Hammer using this style, and it just makes the point that generally speaking, some shapes work quite well from a physics standpoint. Not going to go any further on that, but it is a lower RG, higher diff type ball, so it's a big hunkering core, but put in a medium strength hybrid cover. That's a little shiny. This type of combination can be confusing in ball reaction, but if done right, can serve a spectacular purpose. The Zen actually had a similar formula conceptually, despite being a pearl. And here I'll continue the theme of comparing these two balls in the same breath, because ultimately I think they fit in the same part of the bag. The Sublime is sort of a mid-control plus or a mid-define minus. I'll likely come back with a ball review directly comparing them, but if I had to be more specific, I'd place the Zen in a mid-control plus, while the Sublime mid-define minus. The Sublime has good length as the Zen did, makes a big rounded move like the Zen, but the Sublime, I'd say, slightly separates with a more angular move. So the Zen might feel a bit more like a benchmark, if you had to call it, but the control from the Sublime is so good, I can still see many bowlers replacing, if they had a tired Zen with a new Sublime instead of picking up another Zen. For me, I start direct, nothing left of the third arrow made sense on this house shot. Once I got near or past the third arrow, it all just came alive. To my eyes, I have a very reliable motion that, while clean, relies on the heavy roll of a big core to create a consistently timed roll. It can be manipulated with releases, but with a kind of a perfect sensitivity. What I mean is, rather than a weaker core really just exacerbating release changes or a certain, combination of core covers do that, you can actually use your release changes to change the roll slightly to impart minor changes to facilitate carry if need be. Anytime you can use a big core, you'll have an advantage in hit. There's no denying that. I love the fact that despite the clean cover, the big core allows misses in to still carry quite well. And that's a big deal to me. It should be to any bowler on heavily walled house shots. Now on to Tyler, and I have to say with Tyler, it looked absolutely spectacular as well. I mean, got a good matchup here. So he's got a reasonable rev rate. The ball just seems to have the perfect characteristics for him and this house shot. So again, objectively, it's about the clean medium cover with a heavy rolling core. The core has a clear impact on bringing control to the ball motion. Since it starts revving up before the ball reaches the end of the pattern, when it finally does, it has a strong but not ridiculously sideways move. I believe this is where the magic lies with bowling balls ultimately, understanding when you want the core to roll versus the time the cover responds. If both the core and cover turn over at the same time, you get a pretty flippy, what I call mid-late type ball that requires friction to do something. In this case, the core in the cleaner cover actually creates a pretty consistent, easy to use reaction. And that can mean getting too deep, we'll see some softening of the reaction. So there's a breaking point where that core, startup means when the cover goes, there's no longer enough energy to hit, and that's when a mid-late ball comes into play. However, the Sublime seems to have a big enough window of use to almost make it somewhere in the benchmark territory. It isn't quite, let's say, as quote benchmark as the Zen from more direct, but it's still extremely easy to use. Tyler just kept striking and really only saw ball's limitations when really pushing the envelope. Now on to the look from a stroker's perspective, and again, the subjective feedback for Brian was a great one. The Sublime worked really well for Brian on this pattern as well. But again, getting to the objective portion, we see the same concept in the ball motion I've already pointed out. The key for the Sublime is that perfect blend of cover to core. The medium clean cover really allows the core to shine, or is it the other way around? It doesn't really matter. The bottom line is they complement each other, and for Brian, this really allowed the ball to have good pop down lane, which really showed in carry. The big core seemed to blend even mediocre releases very well, so the bowler might know they threw it bad, but observers just saw a strike on lane. And this goes back to the point I was making about release adjustments possible, being made possible with the Sublime. You can make adjustments, and it really takes them subtly because of the dominant rolly core. But it's not dominant in a stand-up forward kind of way we see with ASIMs. Brian could make all kinds of adjustments. The ball responded with ease. He kept opening up the angles. The ball just kept doing the job. Deeper in, just slowed it down a touch, but it did make the move nevertheless. Still drove well. On the other end of things, he also found that it blended the heavy outside friction just right. It didn't die, didn't overreact. So Brian was overjoyed with the consistent continuation, which was exceptional. Just some final thoughts to round this out. The 900 Global Sublime feels like a special ball. Again, that's kind of subjective, but we all saw something we liked. We don't always get balls where every bowler sees the same motion or feels the same way about it. For me as a tweener, it felt very easy to use and possibly strong enough I could slot in the mid-defined potentially. It's a little too strong and shiny as a lefty to truly slide in the mid-control. But wherever it fits, it's a very attractive ball motion that's a step up from angularity versus the Zen, and a step up in terms of lane read from the TNT Infused we recently tested. For Tyler, Sublime was extremely easy to use and immediately felt like something could fill an open slot in his bag since his Zen is now retired. He can get another, but it seemed to really like what he saw. Brian had the same scenario. He's now on his second tired Zen, and the Sublime made quite the impression to be high on his replacement list. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next review.